a neon sign. I read her email on the bottom line. My heart started pumping, my palms got wet. It was the scariest message that I ever did get. It wasn't a firing, it wasn't a review. It was a festive invitation for the chosen few. Attention all employees, the subject read, we're gonna party till you drop or until you're dead. The HR director hit the caps lock key, screaming Merry Christmas to you and me. It's the memo, the mandatory memo. You gotta shake a leg, you gotta do the demo. Put on your tie and shine your shoes. We're gonna dance away the corporate blues. Don't say no, don't you dare be late. It's a mandatory meeting with a holiday fade. Yeah, Rockin. I grabbed a telephone to call my wife. I said, honey, I'm running for my very life. They're forcing us to mingle, they're forcing us to cheer. It's the obligatory party of the fiscal year. She laughed and she hung up the telephone. I was facing the music all on my own. I looked at the clock, it was 4:45. I had to stay awake, I had to stay alive. I splashed some cold water upon my face and started running around the office like a rat in a race. I grabbed a stale donut from the break room shelf and tried to make a party just for myself. I ran to the elevator, hit the button twice, receiving some unsolicited career advice. If you don't show up, said the janitor Stan, you'll be in big trouble with the management man. So I fixed my collar and I combed my hair, acting like a person who didn't have a care. The door slid open to the conference hall. They had hung some tinsel upon the wall. The music was blasting a jingle bell rock. It hit me like a physical electrical shock. The accountants were clapping on the 2 and the 4. I'd never seen the office this alive before. I saw Miss Jenkins from the front desk chair with a reindeer antler stuck in her hair. She grabbed my arm and she spun me around. My feet barely touched the carpeted ground. Dance with me, Miller, she shouted with glee. The boss is watching, so we gotta look free. I started to wiggle, I started to shake. My knees were trembling like a nervous quake. But the rhythm got me, it got into my bones. I forgot about the emails and the telephones. I did the mashed potato by the copy machine, the wildest employee that they ever had seen. The CEO jumped on a swivel chair with a lampshade resting on his silver hair. He shouted, listen up, the year is done now. It is time for mandatory fun. He kicked a stack of papers high in the air and slid across the table with a devil-may care. I was sweating buckets, I was out of breath, dancing my way away from a boredom death. I thought, hey, this isn't half as bad as I thought. I'm giving it everything that I have got. The music stopped sudden with a crashing sound, and silence fell heavily all around. The boss reached into his pocket deep while everyone waited, not making a peep. You danced real good, you played the game. Now step right up when I call your name. He held up an envelope thick and wide. I thought this is gonna make the evening bright. A fat Christmas bonus to pay my dues, but I didn't know I was about to sing the cheap bonus blues. Well, the boss man stood upon the crate with a grin upon his face. He looked like the king of the entire human race. He held a stack of envelopes, a towel pure and white. My eyes lit up like a Christmas tree light. I nudged my buddy Larry, I said, here comes the pay. I'm buying a convertible Chevrolet. I worked 50 weeks with a hammer and a phone. I worked until my fingers were strictly skin and bone. I skipped my summer holiday, I skipped my lunch break. I did it for the money, for heaven's sake. I was counting up the zeros in my fever little brain, planning my escape on a tropical plane. You're gonna ride a baby, you're gonna ride a baby, you're gonna ride a baby, bye, bye, bye. He called out my name and I did a little skip. I felt a little swagger in my rock and roll hip. I grabbed the heavy envelope, I held it to my chest. I knew that I was favored, I knew I was the best. But wait a minute, brother, something fell wrong. The envelope was skinny and not very long. I tore off the flap with a savage kind of rip. My heart began to stutter, my mind began to slip. I reached inside the paper for the check that should be there, but all I felt was plastic and a pocket full of air. I pulled out a card with a coffee logo sign. $10 was written on the magnetic line. I got the cheap bonus blues, but I'm seeing red. I'd rather have a kick in the teeth instead. I worked for a year for a cup of caffeine. You're the cheapest boss that I have ever seen. Don't give me a gift card, don't give me a crumb. to shake. I thought it was a prank or a terrible mistake. $10, I shouted over the din. That won't even bother whipped cream on the skin. The boss kept smiling like a Santa in the mall while I was climbing up the decorated wall. Then Larry opened his and he let out a scream. He woke up instantly from his financial dream. A jelly of the month club, he hollered in the air. He pulled out a pamphlet with a desolate stare. I'm allergic to fruit, he yelled at the boss. This whole entire year is a total loss. Susan from accounting got a calendar pad with a picture of the factory looking mighty sad. Bob got a pen that was leaking in the box, and Dave got a pair of the company socks. The room started buzzing like a hornet's nest. We were putting the holiday spirit to the test. The boss raised his hand, now settle down crew. It's the thought that counts, and I thought of you. I stomped my foot on the linoleum floor. I was ready to start a revolution war. The thought doesn't pay for my electric bill, and this coffee cart gives me a bitter chill. He said budget cuts were heavy this year while wearing a suit that cost magnificent gear. He grabbed a shrimp cocktail off of the tray while we held our trinkets in a disarray. I looked at the gift card, I bent it in half. I started to let out a maniacal laugh. I threw the plastic card into the garbage can. I decided right there to change my plan. If they won't pay me money, I'll take it in fun. The night is still young and we've only begun. I looked around the room for a way to get loose, to cook the big boss and his golden goose. They say that money can't buy you happiness, but neither can this corporate mess. If I'm going broke, I'm going out in style. I'm gonna make this party worth my while. I saw the punch bowl sitting on the lace, a crystal clear liquid in a sacred space. The secretary Martha was unscrewing a lid. I saw exactly what that quiet lady did. She poured a bottle of spiked punch into the brew, and I knew exactly what I had to do. Well, watch Miss Martha from the desk down the hall. She never says a word, she just stares at the wall. She wears a cardigan buttoned up to her chin. I thought that lady didn't know how to sin, but I saw her pouring from a flask of silver shine, turning that fruit punch into turpentine. The liquid was clear and it smelled like a fire. It raised the octane level higher and higher. She winked at me once with a devilish eye and stirred it around with a ladle nearby. It's a family recipe, she whispered to me. It sets the spirit and the inner child free. Yeah, the it guy Kevin was the first to take a sip. He took a little cup and he wet his upper lip. His eyes popped open like a cartoon cat. He said, woo-wee, what the heck was that? He threw away his glasses and he loosened his tie and let out a savage and a primal battle cry. Then Susan from HR, who was strict as a nun, decided that she wanted to have a little fun. She drank a full cup in a single big gulp and started to beat the cheese ball into a pulp. She grabbed the photocopy operator Dan and started to dance like they were in a can-can. It's the spike punch, watch out below. One little sip and you're ready to go. It ain't just juice, it ain't just ice. It's a holiday mixture of naughty and nice. The room is spinning and the floor is shaking. It's the best mistake that we are making. Started thumping, the sales team was leaping, the interns were jumping. I grabbed a red cup and I joined in the fray. I felt the corporal pressure melting away. I tasted the fire, I tasted the spice. I didn't think once, I didn't think twice. Suddenly Martha, the quiet little mouse, decided it was time to bring down the house. She kicked off her heels and she climbed on the desk, creating a scene that was truly picturesque. She grabbed a stapler for a microphone and belted out a song in a baritone. She was singing Elvis with a gravelly voice, making the whole entire office rejoice. She ripped off her cardigan, threw it in the air, swinging around her long gray hair. The boss was watching with his mouth open wide. He couldn't feeling so light. This was turning into a legendary night. The punch bowl was empty, we licked it bone dry. We were flying on a rocket through the corporate sky. But what goes up must eventually crash, or end in a sudden and a terrible smash. We were dancing too hard near the copy machine, the biggest appliance that you've ever seen. It was flashing and beeping, joining the beat, until someone decided to take a warm seat. A backside planted on the scanner of glass. A terrible error came to pass. We pushed it too far, we went off the track. There ain't no returning, there ain't no turning back. The glass is cracking, the lights are red. We're gonna wish that we were all in bed. Like a lightning bolt, the music stopped dead with a sudden jolt. We looked at the copier smoking in black, with a giant fissure running down the back. And standing right there with a face full of fear was the VP of sales ending his career. Still as a stone, we heard a whimper and a terrified moan. The VP of sales, a man named Gary, was in a position that was mighty scary. He was stuck in the glass, waist deep in a machine, the most embarrassing sight that I have ever seen. He tried to wiggle, he tried to get free. He looked at the crowd and he looked at me. I think I'm stuck, he whispered in fear, and I think I lost the feeling in my rear. We heard a crunch as he pulled his leg. He was scrambling like an egg on a cake. We pulled him out with a heavy heave-ho. He landed on the carpet in a punch-drunk glow. But the copier machine began to spark and to flash. It didn't appreciate the holiday crash. A green light blinked and it turned to red. Paper jam was what the little screen said. Then suddenly the gears began to grind. It was leaving the peaceful silence behind. It started to print with a rim and chug, like a diesel engine or a tugboat tug. Papers flew out at a record pace, flying all over the office space. It's the Xerox Incident, a holiday crime, printing out the evidence in triple time. 1,000 copies of Gary's behind, the worst Christmas card that you ever will find. Hide the toner, unplug the cord. We're gonna be in trouble with the chairman of the board. Disaster brink. Gary was crying, trying to pull up his pants, doing a panicked and a hobbling dance. Burn, he shouted, burn every sheet. If my wife sees this, I'm dead meat. I grabbed a stack and I stuffed it in a bin, trying to hide the photographic sin. The machine was possessed, it wouldn't shut down. It was the loudest noise in the whole downtown. I crawled underneath to find the power plug, give it a yank and a desperate tug. But my hand got tangled in the Christmas lights, adding more chaos to the festive nights. Martha was laughing, she couldn't control the punch had taken over her very soul. She was making paper airplanes out of the scan, throwing them at the maintenance man. Fly away, Gary, she yelled with a screech, creating a chaos that was out of reach. The toner cartridge exploded with a poof, covering us all in a black dust proof. We looked like chimney sweep from days of old, shivering in the AC cold. Gary looked like a raccoon in a suit, standing there silent and absolutely mute. The machine finally died with a sputtering cough. We managed to turn the monster off. We stood in the wreckage covered in dust, betraying the corporate cleaning trust. The door handle jiggled, the knob turned round. We froze in place, not making a sound. The door swung open, the light flooded in. We were caught in the middle of our original sin. There was no place to hide, no place to run. The party was over, the damage was done. It was the big boss, the CEO, Mr. Stone, standing there ominous, standing looked at the mess. He looked at Gary in a state of distress. He looked at the punch bowl empty and dry. We waited for him to make us all cry, but instead of yelling, he loosened his tie. Well, Mr. Stone stood there in his three-piece suit. We were shaking in our boots, we were terrified and mute. He picked up a paper from the torn-covered floor, a picture of Gary that we all abhor. He looked at the Xerox smoking and dead. I was writing my resignation inside of my head. He walked to the center of the dusty room. His face was a mask of impending doom. He looked at Martha with her hair wild and gray. He looked at the punch bowl in his disarray. He reached for his collar with a slow, steady hand, and we waited for the inevitable reprimand. But he ripped off his tie and he threw it aside. He unbuttoned his jacket with a swagger and pride. A grin spread across his face, ear to ear. He yelled, "I haven't seen a party like this in a year." You think you can rock? You think you can roll? You haven't seen nothing. I got rock in my soul. We're rocking around the water cooler tonight. The boss is loose and he's feeling alright. Forget the memo, forget the HR. We're turning this office into a dive bar. From the mailroom kid to the CEO, we're doing the corporate do-si-do. Back in the 70s, Mr. Stone cried. I played in a band on the Lower East Side. I traded my guitar for a fountain pen, but tonight, everybody, I'm back again. He grabbed a broomstick for a microphone stand and started conducting the invisible band. He jumped on the table, agile and quick. He didn't look old, he didn't look sick. He kicked the cheese ball into the air and shook the toner dust out of his hair. He sang blue suede shoes with a perfect pitch, making the old corporate rhythm switch. Gary crawled out from behind the plant. He started to boogie, he started to chant. Susan was spinning the boss around to the beautiful chaotic office sound. The hierarchy vanished, the titles were gone. We were rocking together until the dawn. Mr. Stone looked at the broken machine. He said, "That's the best copy of art that I've seen. Frame it and hang it in the lobby hall. We'll call it the spirit of the winter ball." We cheered for the leader, we cheered for the man who turned out to be the leader of the clan. We danced past midnight, we danced until 2. We drank all the punch and the coffee brew. The cleaners arrived and they joined in the fun. The holiday victory was officially won. We were covered in ink, we were covered in sweat. The best Christmas party that we'd ever had yet. When the sun came up on the city street, we finally stopped moving our aching feet. The office was ruined, a beautiful mess, but we felt a relief from the yearly stress. Mr. Stone put his jacket back on his chest and straightened the buttons on his fancy vest. He looked at us all with a twinkle in his eye. Monday morning you wear a tie. On Monday morning you wear a tie. But what happened tonight in this hallowed place is a secret we keep from the human race. He winked and he walked out the heavy glass door, leaving us legends of the office floor. So if you think your boss is a boring old square, just wait till the holidays fill the air. There might be a rocker hidden inside, waiting for the punch bowl to open wide. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Don't be late on Monday. And Gary, put some pants on. Hey! We're rocking around the water cooler tonight. The boss is loose and he's feeling alright. Forget the memo, forget the HR. We're turning this office into a dive bar.